Good morning, good night, good evening, everyone. And today we've got Asturias, the Tier 7 Spanish cruiser. Now, for the Spanish cruisers, this was one of my favorite early access events because you could get 800, tokens from just doing the personal challenges. And these were easy, base XP and damage. Anyone could do them. 800 tokens super easily. Even Devil and Cap could do it if they put the time into it. But it was very easy. Super easy. I actually really enjoyed it. Then you could get 100, silver tokens for the bonus packages if you completed the battle pass. That means you would need another 100 to get the other 3. I did that. That was super easy. The base XP was a little bit hard, but anyone can do base XP. It's super easy. And if you haven't got it all done yet, I highly urge you to really push yourself. I mean, I think the highest an average player could probably go 150 to 125. I think you could easily make those steps. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 tokens you can get per stage. And if you're doing mostly battleships and cruisers, I think that's very much possible. Probably for cruisers, 100,000. Now remember, these are also doable in ops also. So the fact that you can do a lot of this in operations, which was one of the best things about it, even the base XP. 1,400 in base XP was easily doable in ops. There was no reason anyone should have not been able to get all of them if you had the time. Unless you didn't have the time. That's the big factor. But it was very possible. And I didn't even struggle. Was it time consuming on the base XP and annoying? Absolutely. But it was worth it in the end. Now, on to the Asturias. Without the merit flag, 5% to credits, 55 to ship XP, 65 to commander XP, and then 100 with the clan. Okay. Armor-wise, this is where the Spanish cruisers kind of show their weakness point. 16mm bow, icebreaker of 30 or 50, plating on the side of 25 and then 30, belt armor of 150, and then again the 50 and the 16 on the back. Now we pull away that armor. That's the citadel right there. That sticks clear above the waterline, easily capable of being hit. They go right through the bow. Wow, they're going to go right into your citadel. So that is one of the main weaknesses of this ship. Survivability-wise, 39,600. Average for this tier, 4% torpedo reduction. Not the best. You take a torp, you're going to die. That's just straightforward. Artillery-wise, she gets 8 203mm guns. They have a minimum reload time of 13 seconds. Max switch time of 13 seconds. 180 of 22 seconds, 132 max dispersion, 16 kilometer range. HE shells do 2850, AP shells 4800. Damage for the HE shells 50% of fire, 34 armor pin, and then 900 velocity. AP shells do 900 velocity also. The velocity on these shells is actually very decent. I really do enjoy the ballistics. Burst fire is one of the main gimmicks, and we're going to get into that. Secondaries, these are, basically German secondary guns. They don't get the improved pin angles or improved pin, so that's unfortunate. 3-second reload, 6 kilometer range, 1200 max damage, 5% of fire, 26 armor pin, and 900 velocity. Not the best. Again, range is only 16 kilometers. You do get a spotting plane that does make that less painful. Torpedoes, I haven't really used the torpedoes at all. I use mostly the guns. 6-second 180, 106 on the reload, 8 kilometer range, 16,000 max damage, 61 knots, a 1.3 kilometer detectability. So they do have a decent detectability, and they're going to be fairly detected. Again, use these if you're going against cruisers that you can get alongside and just torp. That's what it comes down to. Maybe if you want to spam them down, you can't even spam them. These are only suicidal torps for the most part. They don't have the attack. You don't have the stealth to really launch them, so you're kind of screwed. So you're going to struggle with using your torps. Airstrikes, they have tier 5 range as far as only being 6 kilometers. You get 2 flights, but they do a max bomb damage of 3,400. So that's something to be proud about if you can use them. AA, nothing special, not even worth mentioning, if anything. Look at the continuous damage. It's pitiful. Once they get past your long-range AA, it's not even worth mentioning. 35 and 91. You can't repel CVs. You only get a 5.2 range. CVs will eat you alive if they're good. Cernovs, Fobetas, all those kind of carriers will just eat you alive. Again, you don't have that kind of armor that they will just pin you all over. And that is a pretty big bow and pretty big stern. So it's more of like a large cruiser, it feels like. Maneuverability. So, both downsides and good. Again, it's 35 knots. Very, very good. Rudder shift, 8.2. Very decent. Turn circle, 860. Not the best. So you have to pre-plan everything out and know what you're going to do ahead of time. Concealment, 14 kilometers. Not the best. Again, I'm not fully built in with stealth. So with that, it would only be 12.4. Still not the best. Okay? The best way I can think of these are Dutch cruisers in terms of range and offensibility, but better because they have that burst fire. Now, again, fully upgraded. Everything's fully put on there. Main battery armaments, engine room, aiming systems, and then steering gears. The reason I have this instead of damage control is because it only has 16 millimeter plating. That will blow out your engine, your rudder, everything. So you want this, perk. I only don't take it if it's around 25 to 27 millimeters. Usually 27 above, I don't really take it. Anything below 27, I usually do take it because you will get it knocked out. And when you do have it knocked out, it is a pain. So I recommend this for the Spanish cruisers. Again, minimum of 2 heals, minimum of 3 hydros, minimum of 4 spotting planes. Now, for the reload, again, we said we were going to get into this. This is the whole gimmick of this ship. The Alvaro de Brazon gets it. The super ships get it. What this does is basically, it increases the reload from 13 seconds to 32 seconds after you shoot. But it shoots off, so when you use it, and you're, say, broadside to a cruiser, have AP loaded, pop the button, have a good aim, shoot your shells in, hope you get citadels. 2 seconds later, and the next salvo goes out. You do that right, you should get a death strike. Screw it up, you won't be getting a death strike. The only downside is that after that, you are vulnerable, only having a 32-second reload. So be aware of that. If you screw it up, you're going to be defenseless for a little bit. So you have to use this button at the right moment, at the right time. Overuse it and get into the wrong situation, you're screwed. Don't use it in the right term, in the right area and everything. You're going to do really well. Now, exterior-wise, nothing special. That's what it will look like with the camel. It just goes darker. You just get the flag. For the build, this is what I have set for 13 points. Grease of gear, or 10 points. Grease of gear is priority target, adrenaline rush, and top grade gunner. For, the rest of the skills, I would go, well, concealment expert, superintendent, gun feeder. Okay, that's 8. That puts me at 18. And then I would probably go, honestly, I'm honestly thinking I would go survivability expert because they don't have the best survivability. I mean, let's go to the tier 10 real quick. Well, we should be able to go to it. There we go. Survivability on the tier 10, 51,000. Yeah, that's not much better than a Zao. So you'd probably want to take Survivability Expert. Like I said, like this kind of skill would work. And that does give you up to about 43,000. It's a little bit more generous. It's more comfortable. But I really think that this would work. That's what I would do. But let's get into the replay and I'll show you the fundamentals of this ship. Good morning, good night, and good evening, my loyal subscribers. And today we've got, well, some randoms for you. We got Pixie in his hood, myself in the new Tier 7 Spanish cruiser, Asturias. Or Asturias, I guess. Now, this ship is fully maxed out, fully upgraded, fully has modules, everything. It wasn't a perfect match, but it was a damn good match. It wasn't perfect by just one mistake I made. One mistake. And that... I hesitated not to show you this because of that one mistake. That one teeny tiny mistake I made. Otherwise it would have been perfect. But I decided that I don't think I'm going to get a better, example of how to show you the fundamentals of the new Spanish cruisers. And I'm still beating myself up as I recorded, as I looked at that scoreboard at the very end in game, and I was thinking, damn, and it happened. I'm not perfect. No World of Warship player is perfect. We all make mistakes. Probably the top one, the very top guys, maybe, and they are perfect. Let's be honest. Top 10 clans, let's just be honest. Those guys are probably perfect. But the majority of us, we're not perfect. Even PQ is, I've seen him mention in his videos that he says he's not even perfect. And he's been in the top clans. Even though you make mistakes, as long as you still perform, that's all that matters. A mistake is a mistake. You can learn from a mistake, but constantly performing is always a good mistake. Good mistake. Now, this also replay shows you some of the disadvantages of the Spanish cruisers. They do get hills, but they are also very squishy. And they don't have a lot of armor. So, that's unfortunate. But I do like these cruisers. I think they're fun to play. The champion fun is right there. Now, that DD or sub literally walks right into literally every ship that has ASW. Legitimately, every sub and ship. Up one of my ASWs and we go in. He's disappeared, he's gone to max depth, but our one drop takes him out. So 3,000 right there. Now, the funny button is a really great gimmick of this ship. I really do like the funny button, which is, found on the Barrel de Bazan and the, super ships. Cross shots coming in from the Agincourt in B. Alarma de incendio. Problema resuelto, señor. And you got this little tiny Farragut that's just kind of pushing into us. Again, A funny button Asturias can really wreck these kind of ships. Unfortunately, all of our funny button is basically wasted because everyone else blaps the thing off the map. That possibly could have been a depth strike. Possibly.
Observador aéreo regresando a la nave. Torpedos al frente.
Agincourt is still shooting HE at me.
Alarma de incendio.
Now, if he had probably shot AP, that might have been different. Up on the northern side, Pixel's up there, and I want you to keep an eye also on Pixel in the hood up north.
Attention, reporting a target's position.
Rooke shoots at us, we slam on our brakes, and we turn. Shells just go all around us, we got lucky. Agincourt is basically brawling with a Koenig and an Ismail, which isn't a fight he can win. He turns and he misses the torps. I honestly thought, as I was playing this, I thought he would have died from the torps. This is where I screw up. And this is what really... It ticks me off. It really does.
Nuestro equipo tiene la ventaja.
You do see that even trying to evade these torps, the ship is slightly clumsy. Slightly clumsy. We don't have the funny button active, and we do that kind of damage to it, but we don't have the second shot to follow up. I knew it was there, that's what I planned on doing, and I still screwed up. So, it really annoyed me. Because that could have been a depth strike right there. But we are going to kill him.
Hemos destruido un crucero enemigo.
Now, literally just from that, in terms of shells, it's about the same. We're going to take a pretty good hit here. Yeah, that's how fast that ship also does. That also shows you how fast these ships can die. And that's a full health Rooke. So, not the funnest. Again, now look at the north side. We've cleaned up our side. Pixel's all alone. He's got a DD, a Mamu, a Bolognese, and a Mexico, and a U-39. So he's got multiple ships. Then we get shot up the butt from the Rooke. You do see that this ship is not tanky at all. There is no armor in this ship at all. And that is the downside. I go dark. Fortunately, this is where things start to change for the Asturias. I feel like at the long ranges, this ship really starts coming to effect. Short ranges, funny button cruisers, absolutely. But you see how we can just spam this York down? Or this Rooke? York, Rooke. But you see how we're just literally just spamming this guy down with HE. He has no choice but to run. Not only from the battleships, but from us. Pixel gets a devastating strike on the Bolognese. So literally, he's doing pretty good. Then the Acosta shows back up. And the HE shells on the ship is not a bad ship at all. He does pick up the Acosta. We pick up Brothers in Arms and General Offensive. And we're just literally burning this guy down. He says, I was coming to help you, but you don't need it. Nope. Literally, Pixel has held that side all on his own, and he's basically stopped their push that they had a huge advantage on. Now the enemy team is basically being pushed from the south and from Pixel's side. They're only being crossed, and I can just go dark, let my funny button stuff recharge, and just keep spamming this hood. Or Rooke, sorry. Hood, Rooke. Oh. It's a British ship. And I feel like this is where the Asturias really comes into effect. Again, another fire. And you see that the HE is actually really decent on this ship. We're literally burning this Rooke alive. Now, we are taking shots from the Mexico. Those shots should be coming in right now. I see the shells, and I just slightly turn. And even at this max range, the shells are still pretty accurate. We're doing 1,800, 3,000. It's not a lot of damage, but those little chunks of nickeling and diming, it all adds up. And the funny button just makes the ship even that much more stronger. I've heard very positive things about this ship from my clanmates. This ship and the line. A lot of them like the Cataluña and the Asturias. I really do enjoy this ship. It's definitely a challenge, but it's a good ship. I really do like it. And you see, we're just kind of nickeling and diming. By the time he shoots, we go dark, and our funny button goes back active. We shoot again, and well, yeah, we're basically just nickeling and diming the Rooke to death. He goes dark. I would have expected him to stay dark, because he knows he'd be dead. Now, Pixel's got 2 kills. I've got 2 kills. Rooke fires, goes back up again. I'm gonna aim up high because I know he's gonna turn. He's gonna turn. He has no. That's just a given. Shells hit. We do 2,000. And we do about 7,000 to him right there. And we're up to 75k. 2 kills. We could have had a dev strike again. That really. That still gets at me. He shoots me. And misses. Pixel picks it up. And that funny button really is great if you need to HE spam something. Because the amount of fire going on that guy is just quite a bit. And it adds up. Now we crossed 82k. Pixel picks up Confederate. And we'll look at the final score. Decent amount of credits, decent amount of ship. 82,000, 2 kills, 5 fires, 2 citadels. Should have had a dev strike on the Chun. That still annoys me. But in terms of, everything, Pixel got General Offensive, Brothers in Arms, Dev Strike, Confederate, and Dreadnought. I got First Blood, Brothers in Arms, and it really still ticks me off that I didn't funny button that guy. It really does. But you see, we did 14,000. That should have been more to him. 3,000, and the Rooke that we literally just HE spammed from long range. 58,000 to him. And that was only 68 shells on him. That's not a lot of shells. But he literally got burned down. We destroyed 17 of his AA batteries. One torpedo tube was incapacitated. So if there was a CV, he would have been, screwed. Now, we do a little bit of spotting damage for our team, which is always nice. And then for what we took, as you can see, the majority of it came from that one salvo from the Rooke. But that is literally the gist of how to play the Spanish cruisers, legitimately. And I look forward to seeing what these ships do in ops, because I will be picking up the Cataluña before the next patch ends. So we will get to see Cataluña. And Cataluña will be ran in ops. So rest assured, you will see footage of that.